On the know that you know that you're feeling it.
Peace, guys. Hope everybody's 2024 is off to a good start, a positive start, a phenomenal start, a motivational start, a productive start, and all the above. So yeah, I'm gonna get back with one of these videos, just sharing a bit of conversation, some insight. A lot of people ask about the music business. A lot of people ask about, personal life and things of that nature. Some people may be accustomed to Bout Dat music group that over the years, myself, I've produced quite a few different artists under the umbrella. Some people ask what happened to the BD Thundercats, what happened to BDR Mafia, what happened to some of these other guys that were under the umbrella. But to keep it real, most of them fell off, to be honest. You did have a couple of guys who were actually talented, and I'd say talented like prior prior to me working with them, even though I may have helped advance that talent and stuff and enhance that talent. So I'd say, guys like Words and Mizzle were a bit more talented themselves from the outset. Then you had other guys who really needed a bit more of a leg up, like a Buds GB, who, completely fell off afterwards because they wasn't really that talented as such to begin with. I mean, they're quite mediocre in terms of skill. Now, that was a good thing about having groups and doing those types of dynamics, because it was a production idea to put various artists together where people's strengths could support somebody else's weaknesses, or somebody's weaknesses may not show up all the time. But I want to kind of move off that anyway, even though I guess it does coincide with some of this topic, because we're going to be looking at just dynamics of the industry, and I want to focus this one on what we would call D-riders. Some people call them Zik riders, opportunists, so on and so forth, people that just want to use and want to take from you. So I guess I laid the foundation, talk about some of the previous groups I've worked with, and a lot of people may be familiar with other projects we've put out, including mixtapes and compilations, which have included utilizing music from different artists. Now, the crazy thing is, some of them, it could be years down the line, you give them a one opportunity and they're still sniffing around years later. They may not be around in the capacity of, they're around working with you or helping you do anything, but they'll sniff around. Like, I got a call not too long ago from an artist that I put on a compilation prior, and, he was giving all this spiel of, oh, you helped me and you put me in the game. And I'm like, what is it that you actually want? Because when it comes to people like that, oftentimes there's just work that they're looking for somebody else to do that they don't want to do themselves. We call them users or opportunists. And I've definitely seen my fair share. I've worked with my fair share, even artists that I've put out and produced. It was around at a period and attempted to get what they could. And, it's all business, nothing personal in that kind of aspect. But some of them, they would have feigned to be more real than they actually are. And what do I mean when I say that? I'll say, even if you're trying to work on music and you've got stuff you want to do, but let's say, for instance, you've got kids, or you've got a relationship breaking down or something, or, other dynamics, and it's something that you feel isn't working for you at the time. Once you sort of leave, or you're doing your own thing or doing something different, if you was real, you would still maintain not just a level of connection, but a level of support for not only the platform, but the individual that has been nothing but real to yourself and giving you opportunity and treating you a certain type of way in a good, positive way. And if you don't agree with that, you could say, hey, well, I don't think I was being treated well with the group or the label or anything like that. But that is seldomly, most likely not the case. So what you've had is, about 2017, when I had my last studio, I used to get so many artists used to come around. And the funny thing was, I was at the prepper system of getting rid of a bunch of artists. So like a lot of the new talent that was coming in, I was letting them know, this is only really going to be for compilations or a few projects. It's not something I'm going to be looking to push even further. It's a period of time. Let's see what we can do. And it was interesting just to see the dynamic of how people was. I remember, telling artists, there's nothing that you're going to come in here and do that's going to be, super impressive. Or, I mean, if you do, I'll give you props for it, but I'm not going to be, kissing your butt or anything like that. Or I'm not going to be, making you feel like you what you produce is the greatest stuff ever. And that was then in 2017. My mindset now in this year is, with so much stuff that we see happening in the world on a grander scale, I don't really have time for a lot of artists' delusions, especially those who are very much ego driven. They want to be seen as some kind of star or celebrity. They're chasing some kind of fame. They're chasing notoriety. And when we're talking from a level of skill, most of them, their level of skill is mediocre. One of the main reasons I can't really mix around so much is because what I've been able and still am able to produce for the most part is effortless. And it used to bring a lot of resentment and jealousy. And, a lot of artists, it's taken them months to write a song or months to do a project that I've put together for them to do. Whereas I'd be able to do something in a quicker period of time. And I'd always say to them, don't compare to me, just do you and work on your craft. But I guess it's kind of hard for people also in a competitive industry where they look at what you do and want to be able to either replicate, or sometimes they want to beat you. And they get more frustrated if they can't. I've had some people in the past say, oh, my focus is to beat you, and because you said to me one time that, oh, this, that, and the first, so now I've got this whole mindset of how I want to try and prove something to you, and I'm like, I'm not your god, so you ain't got to prove nothing to me, and I'm not your parent or your father, so I'm not gonna hold your hand through any of this either. And that's just a lot that's within the hip hop industry. I've also worked with people outside of hip hop, done some collaborations here or there, and I'm sure some of these people from different genres could attest to my skills and my capabilities, but it's been quite disappointing also working with people from other genres, because a lot of them have either tried to cheat, not been honest and legitimate with getting songs registered the right way, using my likeness, using my image, not having things done the right way, not paying up the right way, and there's been a lot of shadiness and chicanery in that aspect. People have even utilized doing stuff with me to help further their own career, get themselves deals and so on and so forth. And anybody who knows me personally, I ain't no hater and I ain't mad at anybody for their success or what they're able to achieve. But a lot of the times it's very disappointing when you know that they want to utilize and use you for your image or your look or your sound, and they want to try and play it off like they're doing you some kind of favor, but oftentimes it's quite the opposite. So I just want to touch on some of these things because a lot of people do ask me about that music group, some of the projects we've done in the past, some of the collaborations that they've seen, and is there going to be any new music going forward? I can't say too much about new music from other artists, but I will be releasing a few stuff myself periodically, albeit it's not necessarily my primary focus, but it's something I've always going to have the talent and the ability to do. So let's see how things go. But if you guys have got any more questions on the music industry, or even in terms of where I've been about that music, some of the people I've worked with, not just local, I focus here on some local. If you want me to get into some of the industry people, I can do that also, maybe on a further drop. BoutThatOnline.com will be back up soon. As you guys guessed, there's 101 other things that I've got to do at the minute, so that's slightly on the back burner at the minute while I navigate this new year 2024 myself and get a few new things in gear. So I appreciate all the real ones that have rocked with me all these years, like from a real place. Nothing but love, I can appreciate that. Not the users, the dick riders, the opportunists, all of y'all know what you can do, man. Take a run and jump. But that's me on this one, I think. Short and sweet. Hopefully it's under 10 minutes. You guys let me know in the comments what you think, and I appreciate everybody who listens to the very end, and appreciate everybody who supports the projects and the channels and the movement. One.
On the low, but you know that you're feeling it. On the low, but you know that you're feeling it. On the low, but you know that you're feeling it. On the low, but you know that you're feeling it.